Sopranos.
Let's take it a little slower. Wake up, Rick.
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
Boom! Season 5 is here, boys.
Yeah.
We're almost done with this bitch. Do you want to tease what's coming next, or you want to wait till season 6? Season 5 finale. We'll talk about a season 5 finale.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
We'll add it in there. What we're doing. Pretty exciting. Little known fact. I think I'm slowly becoming a TV guy. Okay. Slowly coming TV guy. Fuck movies. You know. I'm having more. I've got the itch. Okay.
Coming 2026 TV trivia matches.
No, ever, never. Promise you that. But what I will say is, I've got the itch. I'm in this mode that I'm like, ooh, I don't know, I've watched my episodes. Can I start another show at this point? But then I'm just burning content, so I'm staying back. I'm saying, well, maybe Matt and Mark will deliver something to me.
I mean, Mark and I can recommend crappy shows you can watch that we would never cover on this show if you're looking for content.
Okay, you're disgusting. You know me well enough. I need good recommendations, okay? But all I'm saying is, I got the itch. TV is firing on all cylinders right now. I'm enjoying every episode, but I'm waiting for Mark and Matt to recommend more TV for me at this point because Mad Men, S.H.I.E.L.D., Sopranos, fire. Having a blast with all of them. I can't wait for Friday because I get to watch more episodes because I'm waiting. I got the fiend for it. Kind of like Dutch when he sees a cat's neck. You know what I mean? I'm itching to kill another. Okay, Mark. I've not asked you this tonight. How are you? How was your viewing experience?
Yeah, the viewing experience is good. I mean, yeah, although that is getting me to think about just like, oh, what TV would I recommend to you? Because honestly, it would be definitely things there's no way we're covering, and most of them are just kind of like weirdo and like adult animated shows like Rick and Morty and the Venture Brothers, which I know, like Venture Brothers, I cannot imagine you like the Venture Brothers.
I'd rather die. Matt, how are you? And before I do care how you are. I've said this on the last one. I am under absolute fire from social media. Everybody is out to show me the end of The Sopranos before I get to the end of Sopranos. I am so ingrained with TV. My phone hears me say TV once a week for a long period of time. It's saying, oh, these are the seasons with the best episodes of all time. These are the episodes that have no bad episodes, zero bad episodes, and they try to show me it. I'm like, what are we doing? I have one to talk about after we get off call because there's a show I've heard you guys talk about, but they claim there's zero bad episodes. I think that's crazy, and if that's the case, I would like to watch that that series, but we'll talk about it. Matt, back to you. How are you? How was your viewing experience going from New York, California, and New Jersey?
I'm doing good. We're finally in the season 5s. I've had to deal with you guys talking about how great Mad Men and Sopranos are, and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been okay. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been pretty good, but now we're at the point where S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to start cooking. So I'm very excited to start getting into the good stuff. But Tony, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
Great. I'm having the issue that I had. Remember when we did Breaking Bad season 1? And we got to a part, and I just had to be honest with you guys that I watched ahead a lot, and I felt bad for it. I'm struggling. Like, I'm pushing off TV as far as I can because then I won't watch more, but I want to watch more. Like, I'm dying out here on certain things. Great episodes this season, great character moments, and I will say before we get going, one of the most uncomfortable scenes I've ever watched. I struggle with secondhand embarrassment. There's a scene in one of these shows that made me like, "Oh, please stop." We'll see if y'all can guess it when it happens. But let's go to the new. God, we lost Glenn Close, but let me tell you, we gained a douchebag,
Oh,
a certified asshole. I think I'm not going to watch any more of this guy's movies. I'll pass it on to Matt, and I'm going to put up him a lot. So,
all right, so we're gonna jump into season 5, episode 1 of The Shield, episode titled
Wrong.
Extraction. Oh, there we go. We got that font. So we're gonna start this about maybe 6 months or so later. And one interesting tidbit I will say: the first 4 seasons of The Shield take place over about 2.5 years. The last 3 seasons of The Shield take place about 4 months. So we're like I said, we're going now.
oh, that makes sense because of that one aspect.
Hmm.
You know what
Okay.
I'm talking about?
Maybe I don't know.
The Vic thing.
Oh yeah.
You'll talk about it.
Yeah.
If not, I'll interrupt you. Go ahead.
Okay. So we start off. There's a funeral, and a fight breaks out of the funeral between some black members and some Latino members. The strike team shows up to break it up. Ronnie takes a good whack to the back of the head with a giant crucifix. Not too happy about that. Meanwhile, back at the barn, we found out that Billings has become the new captain.
Oh, did anybody else think that we just got a wild flashback to the church raid at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
When they all broke in, I was like, church raid 2.0, what are we doing? Like, what? So, yeah. They even fight at funerals. Crazy.
And speaking of pregnant, Danny is quite pregnant, helping around the barn. The father is unknown at this time, but there is a pool going as to who the father is.
Okay.
Got a comedian over here, unknown. All right.
Julian has a new officer that he's training, Tina. They respond to a stabbing at a school. And another riot starts at the school with the black students and the Latino students. And there are some gunshots at this riot. So Vic also shows up over here, and he gets the idea to spray the rioters with a fire hose to kind of calm everybody down a little bit. Aceveda shows up to kind of help calm down the parents after they see their children getting sprayed down with a fire hose. Meanwhile, Dutch and Claudette give Tina a good talking to after she contaminated the crime scene. And Claudette takes a moment to tell Dutch that Tina is too young for him. Then we see Vic and Shane interrogating a student with a taser that he had on his possession. He tells them about a kill clock that has been started. And it's pretty much saying that the Latinos need to kill a couple of black people before the end of the night in order to satisfy the kill clock. I'm going to have trouble with her name every time. Amelia is seen talking with an internal affairs officer, Lieutenant Kavanaugh, played by Forrest Whitaker, who may or may not be the person that Cody was talking about.
Bitch. Bitch.
One of our great actors.
Scumbag bitch. And this is 3 episodes. I hate him in 3. I hated him in 1.
Yeah, so Aceveda pays him a visit. Kavanaugh tells Aceveda that he has Lem pretty much dead to rights, and he is planning to use Lem to get to the rest of the strike team. Kavanaugh asks Aceveda about Terry's death all the way back in the first episode, which I'm sure we noticed that was in the previously by. If you saw that, get used to seeing that clip again a lot. Aceveda tells Kavanaugh that Lem is the one with a conscience in the group, but that he's still going to need a wedge in order to be able to get him to turn against Vic and the other guys. Aceveda tells Kavanaugh that Terry was working with Justice to bring down Vic. Then Kavanaugh offers Aceveda some gum and tells him that it's a trick that he uses to see if someone will crack under pressure. I was supposed to bring some gum to offer you guys at the beginning of this episode, but I forgot about that.
If you bring me fucking juicy fruit as a grown man at any point in my life, I'm declining it even if I need it. What grown man walks around with a pack of juicy fruit? That gum lasts 12 seconds. You know who does? That bitch. That guy. Guess what? I want to make this record. You don't have to wait for 11 episodes to come flying through here, or 10 episodes. Bad guy of the week, this guy. I hate him.
Oh.
Spoiled.
So then we see Vic visiting with Amelia and her son to see if she can get him any intel on this kill clock. And then he pretty much goes and tells her that she should quit being a CI before she gets hurt. So it's kind of getting some mixed signals there from Vic. The assistant chief of police tells Vic that the chief of police wants Vic to retire when he hits 15 years, which is in about 4 months. So they're pretty much trying to force him out of the police force.
So smart by this. If you're saying it spans over 4 months, like, that's brilliant. Like how they conclude this. So I'm pumped now.
But Vic tells Shane that he's not going anywhere. He has his little Wolf of Wall Street moment there. The strike team goes after Lorenzo, the kid that did the stabbing in the school. So he runs out of the house and he runs through the crowd, shoots a black guy while he's running away. But Vic and Shane eventually capture him and they bring him into the barn. They find pictures of the girl that he stabbed on his phone. At the barn, also, Lorenzo tries to push Claudette over the second floor railing, which isn't the first time someone's almost gone over that thing. Kavanaugh visits Corrine, and she takes his gum. So we find out that she might be somebody who can bend to his will. But she gets out of there fast because he's kind of weird. He kind of weirds her out a little bit. Lorenzo's mom helps in the interrogation. We find out that Lorenzo's father is in prison, and he's the one that gave the order to kill the 2 black people by midnight, or that he would be killed himself in jail. He tells them that if he can't get it done, and it will fall onto his little brother Cisco to finish the job. So then they run out and they discover the little brother's already gone. They find him when they find that he shot somebody in a barber shop, but the barber managed to stab him with some scissors on his way out. They find Cisco in the alley behind the shop and they arrest him, but they are able to use the photos to get the kill clock turned off. The strike team visits with a convenience store, and the clerk is able to give them some intel in exchange for them promising to protect his store. And they find the guy who hit Ronnie at the funeral, and they give him a good little beating. Then we get Tina. Tina kind of flirting with Dutch a little bit. And then the episode ends with Kavanaugh visiting Lem, and he kind of hauls him off to a motel room to kind of talk. He tells them all about the heroin and how they kind of have him red-handed with that. And then Kavanaugh tells him that he doesn't want to get the guy with a conscience, and pretty much insinuates that he wants Lem to help him get Vic. And that is the end of this first episode here. A lot going on.
Go ahead, Mark, because I have a lot.
Yeah, no, this is a great start. will say at the end of the I didn't need to look this up. At the end of the episode, I knew exactly that Kurt Sutter wrote this episode. We got ourselves a good like full song montage where everybody was.
What does that mean?
It's just like if we ever do this show, Sons of Anarchy, a big thing that Kurt Sutter loves to do is to wrap up every episode by like seeing where every character is at while playing the full length of a song.
Nice
Did he
little
do
montage.
episode 1?
No,
I don't
think
believe
so.
he did. No.
That's a ball to the bottom. Bang, bang.
I feel like
I don't
Kurt
think he would have
Sutter.
picked that song.
No, but Kurt Sutter definitely loved that moment. He's like, wow, that's
Probably,
a great
yeah.
idea. I should definitely do that if I ever get a show. But no, it was a great start. I kind of love that we're getting started really fast here. We're just getting right into it. Lim is already in IAD's crosshairs a little bit. I kind of like how we're even like some of the least interesting characters. I think we're kind of into some. There's like interesting things. I think we're getting into them where I feel like they're trying to kind of jumpstart some of those people, and then introducing Forrest Whitaker as like kind of the new guy. He's just so good. Like it just immediately, it's like, okay, I love this guy. I love this guy so much. He is 100% the worst, but it's like
You're a pervert.
this guy is like he plays it so well. Like there's something kind of charming about him, and like but at the same time, you're like, fuck, man. Like I don't like this guy, and like I don't really I don't love where this is going, but I'm really engaged, and he kind of is the perfect add-in cop villain for this season.
I've never hated Mark Menchaca more than I hate him right fucking currently now. He's not charming. He's a sleazeball. He's a sleazeball by the like how he sweats through every scene. He is disgusting behavior. His overall like how he like fucking talks pisses me off. Like yeah, don't want the bad guy to go down. Fucking, you want the whole team to go down for the heroin that he decided to put in his compartment to do the drug deal. Whatever. Listen, the person that you're trying to get in just worked with Antoine that got another inmate killed. So and proceeds to rape his prostitute person on the side. Fuck off. You're not innocent. Like. And hell, for the last year, Vic's been pretty straight and narrow. Besides the heroin deal, he hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah, for the last year, we're going to ignore those about him killing a cop and stuff.
Well, if they wanted to do that, the statute of limitations, they should have been on that a little sooner. Aceveda got him killed.
It's because Aceveda's a sucky cop, and he wasn't able to catch Vic in the first season.
Fact. Piece of shit, garbage human being. I think, I love Glenn Close. This is awesome. How is she going to go bad? Oh, no, they're just going to replace her with fucking Forrest Whitaker. That's a bastard. And he's trying to take down the strike team that, take Shane down. All you want. Vic's just trying to save money for his autistic kids. Douchebag. And now they're forcing him retirement? Bullshit.
I mean, retirement's better than jail. So, I mean, that's a good deal for Vic.
They're going to try to put him in jail anyways. Yeah. And Danny's baby, we all know. Crazy.
It's clearly Duchess, right?
Julian's. He did that aggressive sex to, get her pregnant. Do we ever know if that ever worked for his wife? No, cool.
They haven't talked about his wife in a while.
Well, they don't talk in real life about his wife either. Crazy.
All right, so I think that could bring us to our next episode. Enemy of okay. I'm glad it's enemy of good. I thought I typoed that again.
I just copied it. 3 words for fucking season 2, episode 2. Whoa, crazy.
So we start off with the strike team minus Lem gets told that a guy named Doomsday is sweating the local businesses, including the shop that they kind of promised they were going to protect in the last episode. They track down Doomsday and tell him to back off, but he doesn't cooperate so much. So as usual, he catches a beating, and then they leave him tied up to his little pull-up bar. Danny tells the guys that Lem is going to be running late today and that Billing wants them to work on some homicides. Let's see. There was 3 kills. The victims don't appear to be gang-related. Vic questions the neighbor across the street, and she a little hesitant at first, but he ends up making her do a sketch or works with a sketch artist, and the sketch comes out looking just like Doomsday. So they go back to Doomsday's place and see that he has managed to free himself. And they go back and find out that Doomsday has killed the witnesses' dogs and took their heads. Meanwhile, Dutch and Claudette are helping Julian and Tina with an assault of a drunk guy. The victim's wife comes to see Dutch at the barn, and she tells him that the guy is in an aversion therapy to help him quit drinking. They go and visit Ramiro, the guy who's helping with the aversion therapy. Dutch and Claudette ask the wife if she's having an affair with him, which she says that she wouldn't do that while her husband is alive. So that gets them a little suspicious. Dutch brings him in for questioning, and even though they still can't prove that he tried to that he messed up the other guy and attacked him and trying to kill him so that he can get with the guy's wife, they end up just arresting him for selling counterfeit goods because he was selling counterfeit like shoes and clothes and stuff. Dutch asks Claudette what's going on with her missing time at work and notices she's just kind of off her game a little bit. She's kind of acting like everything's okay and all that stuff, but she pretty much just tells him it's none of his business. I don't remember if it was this episode or the next one where she cuts to her at home and she's like taking pills and stuff. So she's definitely got something going on, but she hasn't told us what's going on yet.
Who's taking pills?
Claudette. Medicine, not bad pills.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh and Lem are still talking in the motel room. Lem denies the drugs. Kavanaugh asks Lem about Angie, and then he asks Lem how he feels about cop killers, which of course Lem, like all of us, thinks that cop killers bad guys. But of course then that Kavanaugh just kind of ramps that up and just bring up Terry. Lem says that Terry was killed by a drug dealer, and he tells Lem that he's going to be getting him to tell the truth or he's going to end up behind bars. Kavanaugh then goes and visits Aceveda and tells him about Lem and asks him for help with the personal element. So they bring in Aceveda. He comes to see Lem and Kavanaugh. He tells Lem that he is going to have to pay the price for everything unless he gives up Vic. He also tells him that Vic killed Terry, which Lem says that's impossible. And then Kavanaugh, pretty much seeing that reaction, says that Lem not knowing anything about Vic killing Terry kind of changes everything. And then now he has a chance to come out of this looking all right. So he tells Lem to prove, if he wants to try to prove that Vic didn't kill Terry, he's going to have to do it by wearing a wire. So they put a wire on Lem and then release him to go back and see Vic. Meanwhile, the guys find Doomsday and they arrest him, but he denies any wrongdoing in dealing with those dogs. And now the witness won't ID Doomsday because she's scared. Danny also tells Vic that downtown called and asked to see any files that they have there about Terry. So Vic knows that people are looking into Terry and what happened there. Lem and Vic interrogate Doomsday, and Lem is trying his best to try to keep Vic and the other guys from saying anything because he's got the wire on. So he ends up trying to leaving so that they can go and do some stuff. They cut Doomsday loose so they can deal with him on the street. They find him later and grab him. He tells them that the dog heads are in a freezer and that he was planning on making it into a soup so he could make the witness eat it. So the guys pretty much, they plant a gun on Doomsday and then they pay a Mexican cop to take him to a Mexican jail where he's going to be for a long time. Julian and Tina respond to a domestic disturbance call with a father and a son fighting, and Tina gets a little bit little nightstick happy on the father, and Julian kind of yells at her a little bit. But Danny reminds Julian that he's being a little bit too hard on Tina and that maybe he needs to reconsider his training methods.
Go for the knees.
Kavanaugh plays Corrine another visit, pretending to be a single dad of a child with a disability. So they talk a little bit. She tells him that Vic helps her out with the expenses for the kids. And then at the end of the episode here, we have Lem waiting for Vic. When Vic gets home, he asks Vic about Terry. Then Lem starts pushing Vic around. They get into a little scuffle as Lem disconnects the wire. He then tells Vic all about the internal affairs investigation in Aceveda and that they have him wired. Lem tells Vic that he thinks he's lying about Terry and asks him to tell him the truth. But Vic just remains silent. He can't say anything. And then that's when Lem kind of starts to realize that maybe Vic did kill Terry. And he just leaves, gets in his car, and drives away. And that is the end of episode 2.
Am I going first? Okay. Just another pretty solid episode. I guess, we gotta deal with, street names or whatever, but Doomsday probably one of their lesser ones. Like, it just seemed like a silly name. But yeah,
so it's probably a name he gave himself.
the back and forth that we had between like Lem and Kavanaugh is kind of what really makes this episode. And of course, we bring in Aceveda, which I think at least the pairing of Aceveda and Kavanaugh is going to be pretty smart, and kind of seeing how we navigate through that. Him sweating him like pretty immediately, really cool. The thing that I guess I just don't remember super well, and it was a thing that I was like, I didn't think this would be like a driving force. Is like, I don't remember Lem, and I guess both Lem and Ronnie not being in on the Terry killing. I thought everybody was just kind of on board with that. I didn't know it was really just Vic and Shane.
Like, it was just Vic and Shane. Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to throw in here in this juncture of the show, and now this is the thing that Vic has to at least overcome with one of his guys. Because that last scene is great, and him just like Lem still kind of being on their side, but also still leaving kind of pissed off and not really knowing what to do there. Like, very neat. I really like how the season's starting fast. I will just say that it feels like the season is starting incredibly fast, and just it's going to be pushing things. I like a very, very good start on that end.
Like, we have come so fucking far from the basketball episode, where we're just like, we're just doing fucking weird things to do it. Like, the wire situation, and that's enough to be in conclusion, but then they start a fight, and then for him to have doubt now in Vic, where he thought was 100%, like, no questions. Now he's like, what the fuck? I think you really did kill him. Crazy.
And if he can kill Terry, what's that mean for Lem?
Yeah. And like and I think Vic's like facial act, like, no no words, just his face, like,
Mhm.
oh shit, like he's like, but his smartness to like rustle it up, which also fucking idiot lieutenant, dumb bitch, like of course he did it on purpose. Like he escalated it fast to nothing. They have to wear a wire now. Um, that just adds the intensity. The whole computer thing, like as they're typing, I think that's
That's the next
no,
episode. Yeah.
that's not okay.
Yeah.
But like it just adds more. And now that you told me it's 4 months, like that's crazy. Now it's like understand why we're cooking so fast. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. Great 2 episodes to start.
Mhm. So episode 3, JailBait.
Back to work.
Kavanaugh asked Lem what happened with his wire. Lem said, "Oh, I don't know. Must have got disconnected while we were scuffling." He tells Kavanaugh that Vic said it was the drug dealer that killed Terry, so he's sticking to that story. Vic and Ronnie go to Shane's, and Vic fills them in on Lem's situation, and they try to figure out a plan. Vic tells them to act like business as usual, so IAD doesn't think that Lem warned them. And Vic and Shane kind of get pulled aside there, and Vic tells Shane that Lem was asking about Terry, because, like as Mark said, Ronnie doesn't know what happened with Terry either. So Julian and Tina respond to a call where there is a large dead rapist who overdosed on top of a girl. And surprise, the girl is still alive. When we get to the clubhouse, Lem shows up. Shane starts telling a joke, so that's what they're going to hear on the wire. And then Lem and Vic start typing on the laptop. Lem gives them Kavanaugh's name and tells them that it was the heroin that he took to help find Angie's body last season. And Vic types that they will find a way out of this. So Vic tells Shane and Ronnie to go and find out as much information they can find about this Kavanaugh guy. And then they go to check in on this dead rapist guy. When they search his truck, they find 3 dead girls and tied up inside of it. They're doing everything, at least they're talking everything by the book during this investigation, because they know that Lem is wired up, so they're being careful about what they say.
The guy asked for a lawyer? Like, fuck you. Like, no, if he wants a lawyer, he gets a lawyer.
They go to the hospital to talk to the girl who survived. She said that they were sold to the guy, and then she asked them to help find her brother. Vic asks Corrine if anyone has been asking her any questions, and he tells her that if anyone does ask her any questions, she doesn't need to tell anyone anything. Kavanaugh visits with Corrine again, but she becomes suspicious of him this time, and then she tells Vic about the guy who was kind of talking to her, and Vic shows her Kavanaugh's picture and is like, "Yep, that's him." And Vic asked her what she was telling him, and she did say that he helps pay for the stuff, but she didn't mention anything about like the money and like the brown bag and stuff that he gave her. And then the strike team goes over to the dead guy's place, and they search it, and they are surprised when they easily find that all the stuff is hidden inside the mattress. They find pictures of a whole bunch of kids that he helped traffic. They then search nearby. They find the woman that was in one of the pictures who was helping the dead guy. They question the lady. She denies everything and asks for a lawyer, which Vic happens to know that there is already a lawyer in the barn, so he grabs her just to kind of expedite the process to see if she can help, which kind of backfires because she gets a good deal for the lady, but they do get the information they need. So Vic now wants to put Tina undercover, which of course Julian doesn't think she's ready, but he goes along with it. And he says he'll be going along too to make sure that she's okay. Tina leads them to the trafficker. And she gets in a van with them, and she's able to talk her way out of getting gang raped. The cops follow her, and they leads them to the brothel where a bunch of the women have been taken to. They move in, bust it. When they tell one of the traffickers that he's looking at the death penalty, he ends up pretty much giving them up the rest of the information about the operation that helps them take that one all down. Ronnie gives Vic the Kavanaugh information that they've been able to find, including that he likes to work without a partner and that he's a divorced with no kids. Then we have Aceveda visits Kavanaugh and tells him that he's making the same mistakes that everyone else does and underestimating Vic. Aceveda tells him that he hasn't been face-to-face with Vic yet, so he doesn't know what he's dealing with. And then there was just like a little side story where the attorney came to speak with Dutch and Claudette about the guy that they arrested last episode or two ago about the school shooting. She tells them that the kid's innocent, and Claudette thinks that she may be right. So she digs into it a little bit and finds out that finds the kid that actually did do the shooting in the school. So she gets that one fixed. And then Danny asks Dutch to help another case with a guy who missed his court date, and he claims that he was forced to help his friend get rid of a dead body, and that's why he missed court. So Dutch and the parole officer go to where the guy said the body was, and they find an arm. So I guess that shows that it corroborates his story. And then we have Shane and Mara spending some quality time together. But of course, she can sense that he has something on his mind, and Shane kind of tells her about Lem being in trouble and kind of the situation they're in. Then we have Vic and Lem have a talk. Vic tells him that the drug dealer got past him and killed Terry, and that's why he blames himself for not sweeping the room better. It's not that he didn't kill Terry, but he blames himself for his death. And Lem just needs to get past it. And Lem tells him that he's with him. And then Billings calls Vic into his office, where Kavanaugh introduces himself. Kavanaugh asks Vic, pretty much kind of tells him that he's just kind of going around, just looking at the different departments and stuff. And he asks Vic if there's anything he should be aware of. And Vic tells him no. So they meet face to face at the end of this episode.
Should have beat his ass right then and there. Creeper stops by a school, doesn't have a child. You know what that's called? A criminal, a pervert, a pedophile. Oh, well, isn't he teach? Oh, yeah, his helper. Bitch, you're a stranger danger. You should be locked away for a long time. Yeah, done with him. If they could shoot him tomorrow, maybe go visit the C4 play again, Put some under his chair. Hate him. It took 5 seasons for Internal Affairs to show up. That's crazy. This police force called the Barn has been acting like animals forever. Aceveda was his leader at one point, didn't do shit about it, and now he's trying to get it because of heroin. Let me tell you, buddy, heroin is the least of your problems inside that barn, okay?
That's just the gateway drug to get to all the other stuff.
Yeah. So, done. I did like when Vic talked to Liam at the end or whatever and said, hey, we together? Making sure, he's like, it kills me that I didn't sweep, which I don't believe he fully believes Vic still to this day. But
I think Lem wants to believe it enough.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. It's more the strike team. I kind of like where the strike team is going because they feel like they're on their way out of the police force. It seems like, so they're going around trying to make up be enforcers for the places. I think that's interesting. Leaving the card is a little weird when they beat the one guy's ass in the first episode.
That was something they did a lot in the first season. They kind of got away from that. Now then they get back to it again. Now they're trying to reestablish their dominance.
Hey, Internal Affairs is on your ass. Maybe don't leave your calling cards everywhere, buckos. But overall, great first season. Great antagonist this season. I'm going to be furious until he dies. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Same. I'm very happy with where we're at right now, and just, I mean, in some level, like I get it, like there's no reason for him to know, but I am thinking the whole time it's like I don't. I feel like Kavanaugh should know like something was up in that room where Shane is making this weird long joke and they're talking. It's like, where is this going? Okay, it's like he's also pausing a lot. Like, Shane is constantly forgetting where this joke is going. But that's what we're doing anyway. But no, I really like how we're going in. Like, I also love how in the middle of this episode, Corinne figures out that Kavanaugh's internal affairs. That feels
Mhm.
like a thing we would have that like, oh, this would have been like an episode before or after she hangs out. Like a lesser show would have done that.
Yeah.
That that's a thing we would have strung along for a while, but no, like Corinne just kind of figures that out right away, and just I I am enjoying every second that Forrest Whitaker is on screen. Like this is the dynamic between him and um, Michael Chiklis is just gonna be top notch. I could tell immediately, and we get that first scene with them together, and it confirms it.
Mhm.
I feel very good about where we're going with this. I I don't like and it's I feel very good because this is the first time we're talking about a show in which I'm not caught up. Like I don't know what's happening. I'm excited to figure out what happens next. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I'm finally there, at least with this. Not that because there have definitely been parts of the Shield in which I hadn't seen, but like I have not been like this excited to like keep going. Like it is really tough getting from, like, I think Cody said this earlier. It's really tough to get from Thursday to Thursday, just going 3 episodes at a time for this. Like I really just want to
Well,
rip
I'd be
through.
done with the show by now. Last season, I would have it would have been 6 days, and I would have been through season 4, season 5, and season 6. I guarantee it. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, this is the part where you picked up, right? For the first time ever?
Yeah, season 5, episode 1
Sicko.
was the first episode of the Shield I ever watched.
You're a sicko.
Because I'm like, oh, Forrest Whitaker, I like him. I'll check out that
Oh,
show.
here we go. Here comes Matt to defend. Oh, but back then you couldn't just rent them all. They had to be way, blah, blah, blah. You're still a crazy person. You need help.
It's wild man behavior. It's like you're jumping in the middle of like fifth season of a show you've never seen.
I
before.
literally jumped in one episode of season 6 of Game of Thrones. And I said, don't know what the fuck any of this means, but I'm on. I went right to season 1 and just wait. Let's see how season 6 turns out. Crazy.
Could you imagine though if you watched like the last season of Game of Thrones first and saw like the weaker stuff and then went back and watched all the good stuff?
My question is for you is like, did they do recap episodes, like recap at the beginning like they do on the shows now?
Yeah, like this little recap thing, like, and the Shield's got long recap stuff.
He was caught up.
It showed me the whole Terry
season
stuff.
5, episode 1, that 2.5 minute intro when we date back to shooting the cop to now. He's on. He's good.
I didn't see any of the Glenn Close or the Anthony Anderson stuff the first watch through, but
I will say, I think Matt did miss something there, like not seeing any of the season 4 flashbacks. I mean, because we covered that in detail, how like we just kept seeing the Aceveda
stuff. My balls.
Like I said, you're gonna see Terry get shot probably at the beginning of every episode this season.
Dude, that moment you see Aceveda like suck had to be mind blowing for you. So we're heading to the 60s. Mark is talking, just to tell the audience, episode 1 and episode 2, part 1, part 2, a little kiss combined into one. Mark's just treating us one long episode, so that's why we'll have 4 episodes, but there'll be 3 banners.
All right. Well, I think I did an okay job condensing it. We'll see.
We'll find out.
But this one could be a bit of a sit, but we'll get through it together. All right, little kiss. Yeah, we start off by getting in. We're in like a different office, kind of in the same building that Sterling Cooper Draper Price is. There's some protesters outside, and they're just not loving it. And they thought, hey, it'd be fun if we just drop water on them this whole time. So they just start like throwing water at them, like filling up their lunch bags, like throwing it on the water. And of course, they the protesters come up, it's like, hey, we got people throwing water from us. Everybody sees it. It's like, what are you talking about? It's executive level, and then we just see like a bunch of like old, like 30-year-olds acting like frat dudes. Oh, we got all this water here. It's like, oh shit.
Idiots.
Then see,
This was
Sally.
the equivalent to the lawnmower. I just want that on the record.
What?
Dumb.
Just having fun. They felt bad when they saw the kid though. It's like, oh shit, we shouldn't have done that.
No, they didn't.
No, they felt bad they got caught.
When these idiots come running out with the bags. Oh.
Who knew you
I
could throw a
expect
paper
Junior
bag with
Soprano
water?
to do something like this.
Well, I mean, they didn't know about balloons yet. I don't think we were just like filling those up with water. I think that was maybe like a 70s thing of doing the water balloons. Yeah, we didn't see Sally wake up in Megan and Don's new apartment. I guess we weren't the shield. AMC wasn't the shield. We weren't going to get a full ass shot. She just sees like a naked lady sleeping in the bed, and we go over there. It is Dawn's birthday. It's the birthday that I think is. I would say it's his legal birthday. It's what everybody believes is his birthday.
It's Don Draper's birthday.
Yeah, turned 40. Everybody's excited about, or sort of excited about that. Don doesn't really give a shit because, as he said, I've been 40 for like half a year at this point. So whatever. Pete is now moved kind of into the suburbs. So he's now taking the train every day. He's a normal commuter. Getting into it with a guy saying, hey, don't worry, see you coming in at 5, be 7. You never know. You just can probably hate your home life. It could happen. Joan has had her baby, and her mother is now helping out. And definitely see a little bit of contention there, a little bit, even though Joan's happy her mother's there. Is like she's not super happy that her mother is there. So a little bit of thing there.
Joan doesn't like people. I just want this on the record. She really just doesn't like people. I more and more relate with Joan every time I watch her. I'm like, I'm kind of with you. Maybe it's the red hair. We just don't like people.
I mean, Joan doesn't like people. I think she also has the prevailing thought that she works with a bunch of idiots, and I think that is probably something that
and they haven't gone off and died in Vietnam yet.
We also see that. I see that similarity as well. I work with idiots too. And we don't get paid enough to work with the idiots we work with.
We see Pete in a meeting. We see Roger kind of distracting his secretary because Roger doesn't have anything better to do anymore. And Pete is like, hey, I gotta walk 30 yards over here. I'm just trying to get to you, so I'm trying to save myself the trouble. But when Rogers walks away, kind of leaves her at that. They get to work, and they're kind of working on where they work. They're working on Heinz. They're trying to figure out this Heinz account. And Megan wants to work, but Don just wants to get in there. Don is just he's all sexed up at the moment. I guess new in the marriage, he can't control himself, especially at the office. It's disgusting if we're being honest. He's a dirty old man.
Oh, look who's coming around.
Come on, he's begging for tit shots in the office. Come on, what are we doing?
This is a place of business.
Pete tells Don he has a meeting with Mohawk Airlines. Looks like they're coming around. They've had a bit of bad times since turning away, since Sterling Cooper turned them away. So they are back on the docket. And I think Pete is also the one that just really wants to reel them in. Megan tells Peggy that she's actually planning a surprise party for Don. And Peggy's like, I don't think that's a great idea, but hey, you buddy. And also, yeah, but also don't invite Freddie because like he's in AA, and definitely don't invite Duck. That'd be fucking weird. So uh, other than that, I think you're good. Joan then gets in a disagreement with her mother about whether she should keep working. Like her husband's not going to want her to work because her husband's kind of on his way back, and maybe they don't need you as much. You got a kid, think about that sort of thing. Pete then shows up to the Mohawk meeting, and what do you know? Roger's there waiting for him. He's cutting it up, ordering drinks for them. Everybody's having a good time, but Pete is like, I want to get this account. Why has Roger got to be here? So he makes him leave, and Roger kind of belittles him a little bit. Makes him feel like a little guy or whatever. But we get there. Peggy is then doing her presentation for Heinz Beans, and something about a bean ballet. And I guess like the guy just doesn't like it. He's like, I don't know, man. Like I just like what if we
Kidney bean is like the organ, and they're slimy, and you gotta like, oh, what the fuck? You're terrible at selling beans, buddy.
Yeah, he wants to do like protesting for beans, like like I don't know what he's doing. Like let's leave the ideas to the idea guys.
We gotta get beans away from the war and the stuff like that. They're every day. We gotta keep them from the poor. Like, well, what the fuck? It's beans, buddy.
Yeah, so and then Don comes in, doesn't necessarily fight for the idea, and Peggy is like, dude, what the fuck? Like I've seen you like do this for other things. You can't fight for me on the bean ballet, so we don't have to bring this guy in again. Dumb.
Customers are right. Since when, Don? Since when? We had a meeting that customers are right. I don't know if you remember season 4, but we talked about customers are right more than one. More than not.
Peggy. Yeah, I already covered that. Yeah, and then Pete goes back to Clara, and he gets into her, says, hey, like I know you think Roger's flirting with you. He was only checking at my calendar, trying to figure out where he can squeeze himself into, so make sure he doesn't do that. Also get a glimpse of Pete's new home life, the living in the suburbs with the baby and Trudy and all that. And yeah, like maybe Pete seems to have it all, I guess, is kind of what we're seeing there. We get into the surprise party. Everybody from the office shows up. And what do you know? Don, also a little. He's getting a little like heated from the loins, so to speak, and like going back. And he just really wants to get in there with Megan. And who do they run into? They run into good old Roger and James. Like we got to knock. Like what? They couldn't get there already. What like no, you still have to knock. And then of course they just blow the whole thing. And Don is like, no. Don't tell me everybody's behind that door. Don't do this.
Don's like, I gotta go get some cake. I'll be back in 4 hours.
Don's about to just dick down Megan in the fucking hallway, and he rounds the corner and sees Roger. I'm telling you, dead puppies don't work as well as seeing Roger at your door to just put you in a terrible fucking mood during busy time. He's like, oh, bitch, come on. Like, no.
So, yeah, unfortunately, Don has to put on the happy face and like, all right, I guess we've got to brave through the surprise party. And like Megan invited her. She even invited the accountant. And the accountant's like, shit, man, I didn't know you liked me that much. Awesome. I'm glad to be here. Here's my wife. And then we go around, watch people talk. I just made a couple of comments that Abe is the worst, getting into with Bert Cooper about the war, and of course the sailor guy is like, I thought there'd be more girls here. This is bullshit.
Poor Navy guy.
So yeah, a bunch of mingling at the part. Also, there's a little bit of ribbing between Pete and Roger there. And then Megan's like, hey, everybody simmer down. I got a little surprise for the birthday. Here's my present to the birthday boy. And I guess what was a song called like Zooby Zoo or whatever that French song is.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Bingo! Ding, ding, ding! If you took a poll at the beginning of awkward embarrassment, this is it.
Was
I
Zuby
never
Zoo the
wanted.
secret word?
I never wanted to crawl out of my skin more watching the thing, seeing Don so fucking uncomfortable. Everybody else was like, the
Everyone
fuck?
else did, though.
You know who the real MVP every time of every episode? It's Peggy. Just sitting there like, oh fuck, bitch! Like you could have just asked me, and I would have told you 70 things you don't do for Don Draper. And one is a party, and two on top of that party, fucking do a French medley in a sexy dance in front of everybody.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Don is both embarrassed and then has a tent in his pants that he has to deal with all at the same time. So yeah, they get through the rest of that night, and
By the way, that Zuby Zoo is a TikTok sound that I did not know about because I've never seen the thing, and I've heard that before. I'm like, what the fuck? And then it started playing, and I literally looked down my phone and like thought I opened something. I was like, oh no, this is what it's from. I was so confused. I was in a weird.
Here come
state.
the Mad Men spoilers coming after Cody.
Oh, they're all coming. They're all I'm gonna know it all by the end.
But yeah, they get through it, and like Megan's like, "Hey, did you have fun?" And Don was like, "No." I don't know. You hear me come home all the time bitching about these people. The last thing I want to do is spend my Saturday night seeing them in my house.
Also, can we do a side
again.
note? Can we do a side note? Is that the most accurate thing that you've ever heard of? Like, if you work with people and you're friends with them, you that breaks. But to invite your fucking office to work where you're not
like your
best
whole
friends
office,
and you're not best friends with every one of them, and they're all there, and you just spent 8 hours prior with them. I don't know how high that building is. Like, I would have leaped out. Like, I would have faked it. I would have went to go get a cake and never came back. I would have moved. That would have been horrible. The old feeling ever is a surprise party of people that I did not pre-approve to be in my home.
Cody finds another dead body and just takes the identity.
Yes. Don Draper, Dick Whitman, Don Draper, dead again. I'm fucking Carl Fredrickson. What are we doing? Like, wild. To walk in and see like fucking Pete, I'm like, bitch, win. You invited Roger. I've hated Roger since season 3. Why is he here? He tried to fuck my life. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, like Don
And then
probably
accused me of trying to fuck his wife.
He's gonna try to fuck you now.
What?
Don probably only has about an hour of interaction with Harry Crane every single week, and he would probably say that's too much.
Right.
And Joan is like the only person who doesn't get invited.
Well, she's got a
Yeah.
kid, and like I don't know, like the kid doesn't even grow up
Well,
that
because
fast.
her and Don would just be sitting in the room next to me, pissed off about everybody being here.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, so we get to the end of that. Megan is feeling a bit unappreciated throwing Don a party, and like he's like not for it. So going to the next going to that Monday, Lane takes a cab ride to the office. He finds a wallet in the cab. He's like, "Hey, I'll just return it myself. I don't want to, put in the lost and found where probably this cab driver's gonna just steal the cash. So I'll see to the wallet's return." Lane then gets a call from his wife. She's worried that they can't afford to send their son to school, that they're wanting the money right away. And he's like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of it." And we see Joan gets upset with her mom because the guy, I guess, handyman plumber guy, he was fixing stuff in her apartment, and she walks in. He's holding her baby. Also, her mom is definitely trying to flirt with this guy. It's like, "Hey, what are you doing? I don't. Why are you trying to flirt with this guy while he's also holding my kid? What's up with that?" And she's like, "Well, I want to tell you something. I saw like this ad from your company saying that they're looking for help." Unbeknownst to her, it's because they put out that ad to kind of rib that company that got caught like throwing like water bags over the balcony, but still like sends Joan into a bit of a tizzy. Pete then tells the partners about his meeting with Mohawk, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna have them come over here to meet with me, but hey, do you think they should see me like in this office, with this like cement block here?" And then he's like, "I'm bringing in all the business. I think I should have Roger's office." And then Roger thinks that's just a hilarious joke, that no way he can be serious about that. And then he's like, "No, I'm bringing in all the business." And then Roger's like, "Well, we can take it outside and we can discuss it out there if that's what you want." Uh, so that's not happening, and they try to figure out what to do there. Harry and Stan get into just some casual office talk, and then Harry just kind of, Harry just like unloads his fantasies on Megan without him knowing that she is standing right behind him, and yeah, that scares Harry to death. He thinks Don's gonna come and beat him up or something.
If anyone should be jumping out of a window this episode, it's probably Harry right there.
Yeah, he fucked up a little bit. Lane then gets a call from the girlfriend of the owner of the wallet he found, and has a bit of a flirtatious conversation with her.
Oh,
Yeah.
second time I felt creeped out.
Yeah,
Because he was just like, "Oh yeah, I found it." Be like, "Are you laying there with nothing on?" Tell me my assumption was wrong. Quit it, pervert.
yeah, everybody's getting sexed up in this episode.
After he gets hit with a cane, the man just changes whole like tune. Like, you know what? Phone sex is for me. I'm gonna try it. Weirdo.
Then Harry, trying to avoid everybody at the office, knows that Roger wants to see him in the office, and he thinks, "Oh, Roger heard about me saying all this stuff about Megan. Guess gotta see what's going on." He thinks he's about to be fired or whatever, but Roger just wants to bribe Harry to make him switch with Pete so that he can have the good office. And Harry is like, "But I like my office." Like, well, like Pete's bringing in all the business. Wow, like you should just switch with him. It's like, "All right, I don't think I should." Like, what if I just give you some money? Will you do it? Like, "All right, sure, but you're gonna owe me." And then Roger's like, "No, that's why I gave you the money, so I would owe you." So a little bit of funny interaction there. And then we see Joan stop by the office, and she meets the new hire, Meredith, new kind of dumb blonde secretary at the office, and doesn't know her, shows her around, and everybody sees Joan walking around the office talking about the baby, and we get all like the fun shots of Roger and Joan standing with the baby, Peggy and Pete standing with the baby, and all the people that actually have had kids like together in this episode. We get all of that. Megan and Peggy get into it about the party because like Peggy had said something kind of shitty to her like at the party, and like Megan's still kind of reeling from that, and also like the stuff with Don, so she leaves work upset. Joan is going over some business with Lane, and then she confronts him about like the ad, and he reassures her that no, like the people working the books now are idiots. Like we need you back. The sooner
We're
the better.
dying without you. Yeah, like, and fuck her mother. Like, she's an asshole too, because she's like, "Look, they're moving on without you." Like, giving her all this doubt. And Lane, she comes back, and Lane's like, "I can't make it more fucking clear. This place is lost without you. I understand you have a baby, but the soonest you can come back, please."
We'll give him a job as a copywriter. Just come back.
Just fucking get here.
Yeah, so that makes Joan feel a lot better. Harry tells Pete about the office switch, and Pete is still kind of upset about that. He's like, "Well, no, I wanted Roger's office. The fuck? Like, I don't know what's going on here." But just kind of deals with that. The actual owner of the wallet comes by, and Lane is disappointed. He wanted to, see some pretty lady, and ended up, seeing some schlubby guy who gives him $20, for a return of the wallet. And then Don goes home, sees Megan doing some weird role play thing of cleaning up the apartment naked, and we like Don like Dom's hurt. Like it was really weird. They ended up having sex on the floor. I've seen that. I've seen this episode like 4 times. I can't make heads or tails of this. Like I don't know how newlyweds be. Like I don't know if it's something like this, but it was weird.
No.
Yeah, they have pillow talk there on the floor, and they get over the whole thing. I guess Don just forgives her about inviting a bunch of work people to his house. So that's the end of that. Pete is in the new office and tells Clara to pencil in an early phony meeting with Coca-Cola just to fuck with Roger. And then what do you know? I guess people actually took the ad seriously, and we have a bunch of black people show up in the lobby of Sterling Cooper Draper Price looking for work. And they're like, "Hey, we don't have the money to hire anybody. Just tell them to go home." He's like, "No, we can't do that, or we're gonna look racist. We can't just tell them to go home." And then, of course, the dumb secretary walks in. It's like, "Hey, this got sent in by the bad guys as a racist statue." And then Bird's like, "Hey, did anybody see you bringing that statue?" Yep, every one of them. Every one of them saw the statue come into this office. And they're like, "Well, shit. All right, let's just tell them we're only gonna hire a secretary, and then we'll hire someone just to get us out of this mess." So that is that, and that is the end of A Little Kiss, parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a solid opening to the season. I like the first half definitely better than the second half. All the stuff with the party and everything, and everyone's reactions to everything. The second half was a little weird. All the stuff with Lane and the wallet. I thought that was kind of. I did like the whole Pete making the play to try to get the office, and we did see that Pete still does have that rifle in the office. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It pretty much catches up with all the characters, and they all have their little moments and stuff in the episodes. So, yeah, I thought it's a solid way to start the season.
Yeah, I think it's good. Of the 3 shows that were doing a 2-part season opener, didn't feel like a Mad Men thing, personally. It worked, so I wasn't opposed to it. It just... So this premiered on the same night.
Yeah. That's probably the only reason it says, because this could have easily been 2 different weeks.
It's very much an old TV move. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like,
we're back from hiatus. We're going to give you double the amount of runtime for you.
Here's a 2-hour premiere for the 4-month waiting time.
That's like when Survivor used to do that, and they do like a 30 minutes is just in their fucking induction. So like, fuck, I could take couldn't give me anything with that. But overall, really enjoyed it. I'm shocked that Megan and Don are having trouble this early on in their love affair. That's crazy. Not like they just like got married on a whim.
Solid bond in that week.
Yeah, she was the fucking previous secretary's body. I don't think was even cold fully yet before she got hired and married. So that's cool. And he's not, failed in a marriage before. So sky's the limits. But I'm with him though. A white carpet, fucking crazy. I've also have a huge issue. And me and Matt kind of share this from time to time. And Mark's like, well, you guys are weird. If you are a grown-up and you go to a grown-up party and the carpet looks like that when you're leaving, you're a scumbag of a human being. Like,
there was a lot of drinking at that party.
I get that. But where there's chips and cigarettes and stuff on the ground, I would murder people. If I invite kids over to my house, I expect. When I invite adults over, I would have locked the door and said, "We're all cleaning tonight before you leave." Y'all look like.
To be fair, there weren't a lot of adults at that party.
Fair enough. Crazy behavior. Looking at that, and then also to get busy on that dirty thing. Ugh, gross. After she's mad at you. She tried to Wolf of Wall Streeter too. Like, you can look, but you can't touch it. Good fucking luck with Don Draper in the room. If you put a skirt on the light socket, he's gonna try to put it in there. But overall, great first two parts. I had no problem with that.
I do think though that it's crazy that there's somebody on that train who willingly just wants to sit with Pete every day. Like that baffles my mind.
We're on season 5, by the way. The redemption tour has not started, and I feel like we're running. But maybe it'll take off at some point. Maybe he gets elected pope.
He stood his ground and got an office. Yeah.
He invited them all in there to whine like a little bitch. Like, look at this, guys. I make more things. Roger was like, I'm a partner. You're a junior partner. Shut up. And he's like, I think we should let it vote. I think we should step outside. Which is the one thing I agree with Roger. Come on, bitch. Let's go. I'll punch you in the eye. I fought in World War fucking II, bitch. Great first 2 episodes overall. Had great times. No problem. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know truly where it goes. Hardships for Don, I think, are around the corner because it always is. So, and Jane and her mother. Oh God, it seems like such a great, like, foolproof plan. Like, this woman raised me. I just brought a little one. We'll live together. Never works in like it shouldn't work. So, by the way, Jane, best character, probably second best character in the show. Love her, especially these 4 episode runs. She's on fire.
Yeah, solid Joe stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a couple things to add, but I forgot. So yeah, we're just gonna go into tea leaves. Episode 3. I don't remember what exactly came up with Betty. My note here was just, haha, Betty got fat. So something about that, but yeah, like Betty gained some weight and she's upset about it. Megan and Don go out to dinner with the Heinz guy and his wife, and he has more ideas of how to advertise their beans. Like, hey, it'd be cool if we get the Rolling Stones to do a commercial. And Don is like, in his head, thinking that's a terrible fucking idea. I guess we'll try. Like, I don't like whatever, just to make you happy, man. We'll do it. They're able to get back Mohawk, and it's decided that they're going to let Roger handle the account just because he went to war with one of the guys and he knows him pretty well. And they are going to hire a new copywriter to basically handle a bulk of the Mohawk work. Don has a new secretary named Dawn, who got hired from the prank ad thing. Harry has an end to go see the Rolling Stones, so Don is gonna have to knuckle through an evening out with Harry there. Henry's mother-in-law, Henry's mother-in-law tells Betty to not let them. Okay, I don't know what that note is.
She tried to give her a pep talk.
Oh, okay, that was it. I thought it was like for the next episode. It's like, yeah, try to give her a pep talk, and then Betty like also calls her fat, which is like, Betty, what are you doing? Like, nobody's like, like your friends list is diminishing by the day. Like, what are we doing here? Betty goes to the doctor, asks for diet pills, and he's like, well, I don't know. Like, well, let's see if we can get you on a treadmill first before we were talking diet pills. And this also might be a lump, so you also might have cancer. So sucks to be you, I guess. And that
hey, if you're looking to get skinny, can't think of a better way.
So she's like, oh, God damn it, I got cancer. She calls Don because like Don is gonna make her feel better. She's like, what are we gonna do? He's like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. And then all Don's thinking, God damn it, now Megan's gotta be the mother to the kids. Like that's not gonna work. So he's trying to figure out ways to kind of get through that. Peggy is tasked with hiring the new copywriter. and she's seeing a bunch of like bad stuff, and then they see some good work from this guy Michael Ginsburg, and Stan is like, well, guess this guy's not working here. Peggy's like, what are you talking about? He's the best one so far. It's like, yeah, he's the best one. Like, you can't hire a guy that's got like way better work than you. Just get somebody that's going to get the job done. Yeah, so he doesn't outshine you. It's like, just trust me. Just go with somebody mediocre on this one. Peggy doesn't listen. She interviews Michael Ginsburg, who repeatedly thinks that Don is going to be interviewing him. Uh, Disappointed to see Peggy, and kind of makes a number of flubs throughout the interview process. And Peggy is like, I don't think we can do this. He's like, no, come on, just get me through this, and we can make this happen. Don't worry, I'll be a good fit. We then see, I think I meant Betty. Betty has lunch with an old friend because she's talking with that lady. I guess we knew. I don't remember her from before, but they talk about different things. Roger tells Peggy to hire Ginsburg because he already told Mohawk they already did, and I guess they also liked the idea of hiring a Jewish guy. So like they were just kind of locked into getting Ginsburg on the account. Uh, Harry and Don go backstage to try to see the Rolling Stones. They end up chatting with a couple of girls that think they're a couple of narcs. Betty has a dream that she died, and like Henry's like crying in the soup, and like Sally's like trying to make dinner or something. So like got another
No
flashback
dreams,
there.
madman. That's Sopranos lane. Knock it off.
Dawn is then chatting up with the young girl, and like as Harry's like trying to figure out trying to get into the backstage area, trying to get to the Rolling Stones. And yeah, this girl is like having none of it. She just really wants to, get with Mick Jagger and all the rest of the Rolling Stones. And like Harry comes in, it's like, hey, I got a contract. They signed the contract, and Don's like, really? And then they hear on the other side, oh, the Rolling Stones are over here. And then Don's like, who the fuck did you talk to, man? Like, like not anybody. And they end up having a weird interaction in the car where I guess Harry just ate all 20 of the White Castle burgers. So like, uh, so vintage Harry moment there. Dawn then tells Megan about Betty's condition. Uh, Honestly, more so to try to get out of meeting some of Megan's friends. I think that was honestly the motivation there. Again, Ginsburg does also meet Dawn, and he's able to get through the meeting okay, and he gets hired. So we have a new addition to the office of Michael Ginsburg. We all see some of his home life, of his dad who wants him to marry just any girl at this point. Betty's test results come back, and they say the tumor is benign, so she's okay. And then Betty is like, "Oh, I guess I'm just like fat for no reason." Then it's like, and Henry is like, "Come on, man, you're alive. Well, we just live it up a little bit." So we're good there. What did I say that twice? No.
Yeah, she's just pregnant, and that we're just gonna let the weight go down naturally and get the fat suit off of her.
Oh yeah, and also while they're talking, she tells Henry that his mom is fat, and like, Jesus, Betty, like, what are we doing here?
I did Google when I started watching this. Did January Jones get stung by a bee before shooting Mad Men? And they're like, no, it was a fat suit. I was like, got it, because she was pregnant.
And oh yeah, then we get to Pete. He's unveiling to the office that they got in Mohawk, and he just used the opportunity to shit all over Roger and say, "Don't worry, everybody. I brought in Mohawk all by myself. Roger's taking it over, but he's under my supervision, so it's in good hands." And then Roger had a thing with Peggy about not worrying about hiring people. He's like, you know what? Forget I said that because I hired Pete, and like, he's just kind of fucking me all the way here. Roger tells gets into a Don, talks about uh, Betty and this and all that. So talking that. Don then calls to see about Betty's results. He gets Henry. He's like, yeah, they said it's negative. It's like, all right, that's good news. But we're going to eating dinner, so we'll talk to you later. Hangs up, and what do you know? Betty says, "Hey, who's that?" And Henry's like, "I don't know, it's the fucking wrong number or whatever." So Henry doesn't tell Betty that he talked to Dawn, and can't remember if there's anything else. But yeah, that's what I have as the end of Tea Leaves.
And you just get kids playing with fireworks as it like pans out. And Henry, they have a nice house. That was a nice house. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. Ginsburg is a character that I really like, so I'm happy that we finally got to Ginsburg. And I just loved the adventures of Harry and Dawn trying to get the Rolling Stones, and then them just sitting in the car with Harry eating those little burgers, telling Dawn, was like, if I could give advice to it was, you eat first, eat before your wife and the kid.
Yeah, I think it was a good episode. I like the Beatles things. I think like it's fun TV situation. Like, oh my God, we have to justify the weight gain in between the seasons. Like, what do we do here? So they had to make something in for, because God forbid she couldn't have another child. Like that would just be too crazy for her. Like, no, can't have a kid. I did just love this is the episode with the mom, right? Getting on to Sally the entire time.
No, that's the next
The
one.
next episode, yeah.
Oh, okay, then I'll say like she's a highlight. She's just like she makes Mother Sopranos.
This is the one where she just tells Betty to lose weight.
Oh yeah, she's like, you're getting because she gets in the suit, can't the dress, she doesn't feel comfortable, she doesn't go, and he's like, you need to be happy for your man, blah blah blah. Suck it. So yeah, great episode. Can't wait for them. Mystery date, right?
Yeah, that is episode 4. Did want to add one thing real quick. That is one thing I wanted to bring up. Said a lot of stuff about Pete over here.
Was a good
I will
Pete
say
moment.
This season with Pete, it's gonna be peak Pete hate. Pete's not gonna do a lot of stuff this season that will get you to like him. So just remember,
Mark, there's only like 2 seasons left after the season for his redemption.
Hold on, can I ask you a question just to see if we're on the same page?
Yeah.
Does the actor that plays Pete do something that would get us back on his side? Because the character Pete
does he save like a bunch of orphans?
He doesn't have enough show left to be a character I give a shit about.
I almost brought a movie of his to the round table this past time. There's the movie that he did when he was like a teenager, where like Patrick Stewart is like a terrorist who like tries to take his school hostage, and he has to like die hard his way through. I might bring that to a round table.
Excuse denied. Denied.
Well, he's got 2 seasons after this. I think Pete's got plenty of time to win.
We're in season 5, and you just said that he's not going to do anything here. So
he's still got that rifle in the office. He could shoot Roger at any time.
He's got to recover. He's got to recover. He's got 2 seasons to recover from 5. Sir, your math isn't mathing.
Plenty of time. Well, you'll get there. Don't worry about it. All right,
buddy.
Let's get into the last episode of this week. Mystery. Don is sick, but he's still going to the office to do some work. And what do you know? They run into a possible old flame with Megan. She is definitely eking some sexual energy there. It makes everybody uncomfortable. Peggy's a friend. I really got to remember her fucking name. I don't know who it is. The lesbian friend that keeps coming around. But I don't know her name.
Peggy, female friend.
Yeah. Comes around bringing pictures of that famous student nursing killing that becomes like a big thing throughout this episode, and everybody's kind of interested in to see it. Ginsburg is a bit horrified by it, but each his own on that. But no, Joan's husband is coming home. He's finally making it back from good old Vietnam. He's only supposed to be there for a year, and now he's back. Sally calls Don at the office to complain about Henry's mom. She's like, yeah, she smells weird and she's not letting me watch TV. Can you do something about this? And Don's like, Sally, I'm at the office. Just figure it out. All right. Like, I don't have time for this. Uh, Joan's husband makes it back home. He meets his son for the first time. And, he holds him for, a good, like, I'd say a good minute. And then, he's like, "Hey, why don't you and Grandma just walk around the park for like 2.5 hours or something?"
He held
And,
that baby longer than I would have.
yeah, and she sends her out the door. It's like, "Hey, maybe on the way back, pick up some Gatorade or something. We're gonna need to rehydrate when you come back." Uh, Megan then admits to being jealous of the woman they ran into with Dawn. It's like, yeah, listen, I know what was going on. Like, I know you were just this long running sex party before me. Okay, I was like, I'm aware of the Don Draper experience here. Okay, uh, Joan's husband then tells her that, yeah, I got to go back. It turns out, they're making me do some more time. Joe's like, it was supposed to be a year here, a year there. Like, what the hell's going on? It's like, what can I tell you? We're at war. It is what it is. So Joan is not happy about that. Then see Ginsburg. There's a shoe account that they got to sell, and they wanted to not do Cinderella, so they end up selling this other idea. And what do you know? The shoe people were like, "Yeah, we love that." And then Ginsburg keeps talking and talks about the Cinderella idea. He's like, actually, we like that better. Why don't we go with that? And then Don is like, "What the fuck, man? Like, you just couldn't just shut up. They said yes. Just take the yes, and we can move on." The fucking idiot. Ginsburg almost gets fired, one episode into the job. Uh, After that meeting, Don is feeling it too much. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go home to rest. Like, I can't do this anymore." Uh, Roger then gets a bit of a surprise from Pete because Pete tells him like, "Hey, I got the Mohawk guys coming in Monday. Uh, they kind of want to see where we're at. You're good with the campaign, right?" It's like, "Oh yeah, we got it. We're ready for you Monday. Don't worry about it." So Pete walks over, and then Roger's like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!" Runs in, is like, "Hey, is Ginsburg here?" He's like, "Nope, he took off." He's like, "All right, can you call him over here?" And it's like, "I don't have his phone number." And he's like, "Well, can you go find him?" And Stan is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start with the rest of the world, and then maybe make it back to my apartment, and I'll figure it out there." And then Roger is like, goes to Peggy, say, "Hey, Peggy, what are you doing this weekend?" He's like, "Well, I was planning on doing nothing, but hey, I love is more work. So why don't you hit me with it, boss?" And then of course he's like, "All right, how about I just give you some $400 and you do this whole thing and tell Ginsburg that he actually did it and don't tell Pete about it." And then Peggy's like, "Well, that's kind of bullshit, but okay. Like, I'll just settle with all the money in your wallet. I'll do this and keep the life for you. I guess we're all right there." So
How much will it
Peggy,
cost? What's in your wallet? Are you serious? Yeah. I am. She's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll stay." And the lady comes in and goes, "You can tell her to go home." "Yeah, I'm staying. Sorry, something came up." And like, stays overnight to do it.
"So how much do you make in a week?" "Oh, you don't know. That's interesting."
That was the
Checkmate,
best scene of the
bitch.
episode.
And he keeps having to pay people too. Like he trades for the one office and is like, "I'll pay you this." "Yeah, but you owe me." "No, I don't. Paid for your I paid you in advance."
I know we did the math on it before. I'm trying to think what the equivalent is of carrying $1,100 in cash with you just on your person of like today. Like, is that like $40,000 is like in your pocket? Like,
Well, no, $5,000 was 50,
oh, okay,
so
So
it's
it's
10
like
grand.
10,000, yeah.
that's still
$10,000 cash. Yeah, if you walk around with $10,000, you deserve to be mugged. You deserve
still
to
a
be
lot.
mugged.
Roger should not carry that much cash on.
Roger's too drunk to carry that much cash on him. Let's be real.
Like, I'm surprised this mugger hasn't like tracked him down again. Be like, that was the best one of my career. I'm gonna just get this guy every week.
See, I don't know about that. He's catching Roger at the end of the day. Like those pockets might be
that's
empty by the
true.
time you get to 8 o'clock.
Yeah, remember they did sell the company at one point and got a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, so Don makes it back to his apartment, and what do you know? While he's over there, the elevator woman shows up at his door, and she's like, "Hey, I still want you, Don." And Don's like, "Well, you can't be here. Megan's gonna be here any moment. You got to get out of here." And she's like, "But I want to." And like Don's like, "No, I can't do it." It takes her out the back door, and Don thinks he's done with that. Then see Sally and Henry's mama continue to be contentious. Sally wanted a tuna fish sandwich, but didn't want relish in it, and bitches to her about that. Uh, but also, it's pretty clear that Henry's mom is trying to keep her away from all the murder talk, trying to keep her away from the news and the newspaper and stuff, trying to do that, and trying to tell her is like, "Hey, if you don't behave, I'm gonna send you to bed at 5 o'clock or something. You see the sunset from your window. Like, that'll depress the hell out of you." So her and Sally, having a good old time. Uh, when having dinner with everybody, Joan's mom, and Henry's parents, everybody's trying to have a good time. Wait, is it Henry or whatever Joan? I think it's Craig. Whatever Joan's husband's name is. They're
Douchebag. Yeah.
yeah,
Bitch,
they're
yeah.
yeah, they're sitting there. Is like, and then the mom is like, "I can't handle this charade." Yeah, like, you need like Joan. You need to convince him to change his mind. She's like, "Well, what are you talking about? Change his mind? Like they told him he's got to go." He's like, and then the mother is like looking at her son. Is like, "You goddamn scumbag! You told your wife they were making you go when like you had a say in the matter." And yeah, and then at that moment, the accordion guy from the restaurant just starts playing behind them. And then Joan's mom was like, "Hey, Joan plays the accordion." Like, read the room, buddy. Like, what are we? Uh, yeah. Then we see Peggy. She's working late, and she starts to hear some creaks in the office. Like, oh, what the fuck is that? She starts investigating, and turns out Dawn. God, I got to figure out a way how to separate this. Dawn is sleeping in
Lady Dawn.
Dawn's office. Yes. Dawn spelled like the soap. Is sleeping in Dawn's office. She's like, "Yeah, there's a bunch of crazy shit happening everywhere. Don't feel right about going all the way home." And then Peggy's like, "You know what? I want you to spend the night with me. Let's just come to my apartment, and we'll, just have a bit of a ladies' night there." She tries to bond with her at her apartment, and doesn't really see the difference in it. And then they later do have an awkward moment where Peggy thinks that Dawn is going to rob her, and then Peggy tries to get away with it slightly by picking up the beer bottles, but everybody noticed what was going on. And what do you know? The elevator woman made it back to the apartment, seeing Don in his bed, and he's like, "No, you got to get out of here." But Don just couldn't resist, so he ends up having sex with the mystery woman. So we see him off the wagon again. Sally is able to get the newspaper story. She reads it in bed and scares the hell out of her. She goes downstairs, finds Henry's mother, who's also scared to sleep. So they're just trying to kind of white knuckle through the night together, trying to figure it out. Joan and her husband make it back to the apartment, and yeah, they get into a heated argument, saying, "Hey, you got a family now. You shouldn't go back anymore." And he's like, "What? No, I like this is like making me feel good. I'm needed over there. They got people like who depend on me to be over there." And then Joan is like, "Yeah, whatever. That's horse shit." And then he goes out for the night to blow off some steam. Uh, oh yeah, I already said that. Yeah, and then what do you know? The elevator girl is like going over to Don, say, "Huh, that was fun, right?" He's like, "No, like no, it wasn't. We shouldn't have done that." It's like, "No, whatever. I'll see you again like next week or something." It's, "No, you're not gonna see me again." It's like, "Yeah, no, you will. Like this is what you do." And that just kind of angers Don. He snaps, strangles the hell out of her, and then thinks, okay, maybe I can, clean this up by just pushing her under the bed and just crawling back into bed and just, forgetting about it. So like, Don is doing some weird shit here. Guess he's getting booked for murder, but oh wait, never mind. Wakes up the next morning. He just hallucinated the fucking thing, and yeah, he's just
Or
like
did he?
guilt and his conscience getting the better on that one. So just him dealing with his whole struggles of I guess sleeping with strange women. I guess is what you're going with. Betty and the rest of the family return. They find Henry's mom and Sally asleep in the living room, kind of looking out for each other. Then we get to the next morning with Joan, and she's like, "All right, I made my decision. I want you to go." And then their husband's like, "All right, I knew you'd see it my way." He's like, "No, no, no, no. I want you to go and then not come back." He's like, "The hell? Like, what? Like, I thought, like, what? This is a good thing. I'm over there. Like, I need, like, I gotta be over there." He's like, "No, no, no. You're a piece of shit. I don't want you in this house anymore. Just go." He's
I
like,
want you
"What?
to go
Like,
die in Vietnam.
he's like, whoa, why are you talking to me like I'm not a good man?" And then she drops maybe the coldest line of this entire show, like, "You're not a good man. You never were, even before we were married, and you know what I'm talking about." And then he leaves in a huff, and yeah, that's the last we'll see of that guy. So yeah, we don't got to worry about that guy anymore. We're good. And yeah, that is the end of Mystery Date.
Did you just ruin it? Like he's gone?
Oh yeah, no, gone. I don't think that's not spoiling that much anyway. He's out of here.
I mean,
We can celebrate.
nothing super crazy, but just all around solid episode, good character stuff. The stuff with Joan is definitely the highlight of the episode. Her kicking him out and said he said that cold line is crazy. Don just being sick and just maybe hallucinating, or maybe what's his wife's name, Megan? Like found a dead body there in the morning. She's like, "Oh, I got a good thing going. I can't let." So then she hides the body. We don't know.
I mean, she could have yeeted it off the balcony the same way Pete threw that ham over the balcony.
I love the Jane stuff in this. Basically, her finding out that he had a choice in going, and like everybody at dinner were like, "Oh, blah, blah. Wait a minute, you had a choice? Listen, this is what's needed, blah blah blah." And then says, like, goes to bed, and then when she comes out and goes, "I thought about it. You should go. Thanks." Like that means no, like leave and never come back, and just
Oh yeah.
the fuck? And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. If I leave, I'm not coming back. Bye." Like, bitch gone. And then her mom coming back in the room after, and just like after she's gonna like put on coffee and stuff, like, fuck yeah, I ain't doing this shit. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. That shit. Like, you just had a kid, which is not her kid, his kid.
Yeah. I mean, she shouldn't have married him in the first place. So
correct. And I love that line too. Is like, you're not that great of a man, and you know what I'm talking about. Like before we were married, I was like, oh, call back. Been waiting for that moment for a long time. So like
that was a bad guy of the week right there.
Yeah, it was just a satisfying, like, I love when character moments, when I think I brought it up at the end of the season, like, we have never really addressed that. And, like, it just shows where Jane is as a character, where she just takes horrible thing and just swallows it. Like, she holds it within, but when the perfect timing to just bring it up and be like, yeah, bitch, I know, like, I never forgave you for this. Like, crazy.
I think it's like my favorite callback, like, of any show ever. If I'm being completely, just the way they handle it, because it's a moment that happens just in season 2. They never bring it up again until that one line, and then like like we're trusting that everybody's just gonna remember it. Everybody remembers it. We know exactly what she's talking about. And yeah, it's such a satisfying scene for that one reason.
Yeah, because it felt like a big moment, but that would never had a cap off, and then it capped off in the relationship, which is perfect. Um, and I just think that's brilliant. I kind of like Peggy's like hustling like nature now.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
she's
that was
basically
good.
owning everybody. It's just an interesting thing. I really like where we're going. I love the season already. Again, I don't believe Mad Men ever reinvent the wheel, but the wheel just turns so well that I don't need it to constantly do anything better than what it's doing. Like, yeah, characters change and they do different things and different problems come around, but there's never like this jaw dropping, like,
Yeah.
but it doesn't need to. It's just successful for what it does and keeps you engaged. And it's crazy that we're on now number 5 season. It's the same shit. To be fair, it's an ad agency with drama, and it's still hooking us every week. So hats off to the thing. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to go to New Jersey? Because we kind of have a lot of shit that happens in this Sopranos this season. A lot of introducing of paid people. 2 Tonys. Crazy. When I saw that come up. I'm going to butcher a lot of people because there is a new cast members, and I had trouble with Johnny Sacks for months. So we'll see how this overall goes. But yeah, but we're on to Tony season 5. Just pulling up my notes because I'm poorly executed on what I do with my job. So, basically, how it all starts off is it's the summer of 2004, and the crime family is basically a bunch of people are coming home from prison. And they're overall they're over at Janice's house. Tony's watching it all happen. Steve Buscemi is in this season. He is introduced. He is Tony's cousin. He is a Tony.
Crazy
Robert,
Eyes Tony. Crazy Eyes Tony.
Crazy Eyes Tony. Robert Loggia is introduced in this season. I don't remember his overall name. Fetch? Yeah.
Yeah, Fetch.
So Fetch is introduced, which, man,
Beach.
Robert Loggia, he, I think he only has 1 volume, and it's Screaming, but we'll get to that. Basically, then they cut back to the Sopranos house, their separation. I don't know how much time passes in between.
It's about a year.
A year? Okay.
Yeah.
Where does it say this shit? Am I just supposed to know
I
this?
had to look that up.
Okay, thank you.
Somewhere.
Carmela comes home. AJ is playing drums. Carmela's like, hey, I need you to why didn't you take that thing out? I'm working on something. Can't I do that in the morning? Doesn't matter, blah blah. And then she like does this weird sing, like, oh, to be the man of the house. And like Tony is like, and AJ is like, yeah, you should have thought of that. What'd you say? And she walks inside. And then one of the funniest moments you hear is, Mommy, Mommy, crying. I was like, oh, Big AJ, what's up, buddy? Fucking black bear in the fucking backyard. Which I love. He's just standing there petrified while the bear's just trying to eat some shit, lick something. And then Carmelo like runs back in the house like abandons her kid. Like, oh, I'm good. And then grabs pots and pans, start taking it. Basically gets it out of the way. I believe, I don't know if this is the same lady, but it looked like the same lady. I'm not saying all Italian women look the same, but maybe. Is Tony with the Ralphie's like is that?
I think that's a different girl. Yeah,
is the new one? Okay,
yeah.
well, look the same to me.
She didn't pull any pranks on him, so it's got to be a different girl.
That's true. So they're sitting there and they're talking about they're together. He just got busy because he's clearly separated from Carmela still. The police or whatever, the wildlife or whatever for the bear. Well, this is not like no one was injured or mauled, so we can't put traps. So make sure everything's protected. I don't know the movie. Nick Nolte, Barbara Streisand. If there's a movie out there, you can find it.
Prince of Tides.
Oh, why aren't you a trivia champion? Okay, because you don't know Oscars. Anyways, but overall, he's watching it. It's a therapy scene, and he's like, kind of hints at missing Jennifer. So he sends her a basket, which is fucking weird. But,
which is why the Tide bottle was in the basket.
Oh, look at that! Now I'm connecting the dots. Christopher and Walnuts, they're in there telling a story, talking about their time in the snow.
No, the Russian, yeah.
And it gets pretty heated, like, Chrissy, don't leave me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, they're throwing some shots. They buried it, but it ends with fuck you, and they end up almost going to war over each other. Tensions are growing between Walnut and Chrissy in this episode. Tony calls Jennifer, basically tells her, hey, by the way, did you get my basket? Yeah. He's like, I want to see you. Yeah, I can't do that. The thing is like, I'm not done with you yet. We'll see each other again. I'm like, oh God, Tony. So Tony can't read a room. The bear is outside again, so they end up looking, and they end up calling the guy. He doesn't take it, and Tony is like tries to pay the guys to like just shoot the bear or whatever. Like the bear, he's like can't do that. So he's basically going to send over protection for the bear. And then they have a little tip about AJ having too much stuff because he buys the guitar. He's like, "You're trying to pay for this over the separation. Hey, it wasn't my fucking idea. I am not trying to do this." And then he's basically a struggle over the money. And he's like, all I want to know is like, show the tutor stuff so I know that it's worth it, like getting paid. It's like, he's a college kid. He doesn't get paid there. It's like, he doesn't have that. It's like, what? Soaking for an extra pencil? So they're going back and forth. Money is not going well. Separation's not going super well. Fetch is out, and he meets up with Junior and Bakla, and gosh, what a character. Just interesting. Tony introduces him, and he wants to get back into like the game. He's like, but he like tells a whole story where he beat up this guy in prison to like set the stage, but he wants to get back in the game. So Tony's going to keep an eye out to see if he can get back in the game. Carmela, Tony sends over one of the members or whatever to protect the house, gets the gun out of the closet. Basically a fucking machine gun, it looks like. I don't even know. But to protect the house. Christopher, Adriana and Christopher are talking. Basically, Adriana's annoyed because every time they go out, Christopher has to pick up the tab. Like, why doesn't Walnuts pick up the tab one time? So they're at dinner. Christopher basically passes it over to Walnuts, and Walnuts like, that's fine, like I'll take it. And then he's outside the next day, drives up to him and goes, you owe me $881 for the fucking meal. It's like, what? You owe me from last night. He's like, I told you, fuck off, I'm not doing that. Carmine, stroke, hospitalized. Frankie Jr. gets called. Johnny Sachs and Tony like talks about like, this is the family dynamic, like, and this could be it, like the separate, like we waited for this moment, it finally happened. Jennifer has a dream of Tony. Seems like awkward. Tony shows back up to counseling, basically tries to think, he goes, you see me as a bad guy, like this guy, blah blah, but I want to show you the good side. I want to take you to coffee, but I don't think you come, blah, blah. And he's like, I can't live with like this life of like stuff that's going on. Like, I don't know like who you are as a person. Kisses her, and he ends up like leaving. Just didn't go well. basically, there's a bear that the guy that's go over there thinks there's like getting spooked from being outside for too long. Tony invites Christopher down to the thing, basically says, hey, you and Walnuts figure the shit out. You're paying for the meals until I tell you you're not paying for any more meals. You know how much fucking steaks and shit I bought? Like, do what you're told. They go out to dinner. Tony Walnuts is just running up the tab on Christopher, and it's like, "Oh man, $1,000! That's fucking crazy, Christopher! Like, you have a lot." He ends up leaving. They're walking. He's like, "Oh man, it's great. It's a lot of fun." And Christopher's like, "Go fuck yourself, Walnuts." Whoa! And he's like, "You're trying to bait him. You're trying to get him out. All the fucking potatoes you didn't. I lost my appetite." Basically, running through him. And then the fucking waiter comes out and goes, "You just tipped me $16 off fucking 12. I have kids." He goes, "Get back in fucking side before you get hurt." Like, what? Like, uh, and then he ends up cracking him in the back of the head, and he starts convulsing, having a seat, like his body shutting down. One of my Chrissy, he's fucked up. Like, oh shit! Like, basically, they end up shooting him, running away from the situation. They go and see Carmine. He's got a tube. Walnuts and Christopher like make up. They basically decide that they're gonna be able to squash it. Life's too short. Blah blah blah. Tony shows up after a group session and basically tries to like tells him that he's not interested, and he basically tells him to fuck off. Like, I fuck you, then you don't think I'm a good person, I don't want to be here, and like leaves. Tony shows up to the house, lets the other guy go for the night. He's going to take watch, so he goes outside, sits down with the gun, and it ends the episode of Two Tonys. Thoughts? Which I think it's funny. It's called Two Tonys, and like the second Tony fully doesn't get introduced till the next episode. Like,
well, it's also he told the therapist that there's two Tonys, and you knew that I met the other true. Tony, so that they kind of trick you with that. It's two meanings.
Guess that is true.
Yeah, it's definitely a good opening. It introduces a bunch of kind of introduces some new characters. The stuff between Walnuts and Christopher is great. Who knew that if you and your friends are feuding, all you got to do is just kill a waiter together? Is a good bonding experience to kind of get you guys back on the same page. The stuff with Tony pursuing the therapist now in a romantic light I think that's going to be interesting. And then the biggest, most horrifying news is that Janice and Bobby are now married.
Oh, so. Yeah. I skipped over that because I didn't want to hear it.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's the fucking worst. Is this I've been dreading like knowing that for like the last 3 years, like stupid Janice is gonna ruin Bobby's life. Like, just being tied to him by marriage. Of course, like whatever. I mean, yeah, I can't. I'm not 100% sure what my favorite moment of this episode is. In either the obvious one of the outside thing, or just seeing like all the old photos of like all like the guys that are arrested. They try to young up Steve Buscemi. Like, oh, this is what he looked like in the 90s when he got arrested. This is what he looked
like in his like 20s.
Yeah, like going in there like it's like zoot suits. Like, we get a little bit. We're gonna talk about that next episode. We're gonna bring that up. Go in a minute. Huh?
What were we talking about? What do you mean?
Oh, like I'm just talking about the fashion of Tony B. We'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, funny, like hilarious. Like, yeah, Tony's trying to get with Melfi. Like, come on, man, this ain't gonna work. She knows too much. She's like, yeah, I don't like you tiptoe around murdering people around me. Like, there's no way we're gonna get in a relationship together, buddy. It's not happening.
You told me like you've taken multiple people out, motherfucker. I can't date you.
And then yeah, we got just maybe one of the best scenes of the whole show where like Christopher and Paulie are going at it for him fucking with him on the dinner. And the waiter's like, hey, you think I can get bigger than like a 1% tip? Like,
Were you guys not happy with my service?
he just fucking like just maybe like the biggest like scumbag move ever. Shoot the guy and then take the money so that they don't pay for the meal. Like, great.
All right. Episode 2, Rat Pack. Starts. Some guys that look like cops inside a van outside, and like other guys walking inside the restaurant with a painting. Blackjack Mascarone, I don't know his full name, but that's what Tony calls him. Basically sits there, talks about a property that he wants, a line of business he wants to get in. Tony's not being 100% like on it, not telling him like yes, no, like we'll talk to details. He's like, all right, cool, no problem. Basically, the painting, he brings in a painting of the Rat Pack just to sit there and let it go. But they, Adriana is still getting with the FBI all the time. They're quizzing her basically weekly. And then you see in the FBI where they're running all the stuff and they're playing the tapes from the restaurant where Tony was interviewed. They basically put a microphone inside the bottle of the painting to whatever the whole, or his hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to get him to, I thought it was on the painting.
No, it was in the hat for when he was talking to him. They says like, oh yeah, we got it. It's in the hats now to make it easy.
Oh, right. So, yeah, it's fucking weird. Like, that, if you look back at the scene, his hat's so fucking big. But basically, they're doing that. Junior's slipping. As the episodes are going on, he's slowly starting to, like, throw jabs at Tony, not repeating himself a lot. Basically told Bakla to like make him eggs. Okay, I don't want any eggs. He's like, make him eggs. I already said that. I don't want any eggs. Like, basically, and he's like bringing up the past. Like, you can slowly see like he's slowly starting to slip. And they basically Carmine passes away. Carmine's dead. So the movement of the family. I was been waiting for this character to show up. I do not know who this character. Like, I know him from this show, but I don't know much about him. But I think he's been in other mob stuff. But Frank Vincent, I know like his hair and stuff. Like, I was like, where in the fuck does he show up in this script? Because I know he's in this. They all show up to the funeral, basically talking about the succession. You see a lot of new introductions. Shax and Carmine Jr. basically talk about like where it is. It doesn't end like overall. Like, there's no agreement on like who's taking over the family unit. There's basically a pushover. Weird situation between Adriana and his like her maid of honor, she seems, but like making sexual advances to Christopher.
Right
kind of weird. Yeah, like all blatantly in front of her. But then there's like Adriana's like, you're looking at him like that whore, like no thank you, like no one nothing to do with her. But everybody's around me is drinking and stuff, and you can't just like stay off your wine. So it makes it pretty much hard for him. Tony goes and meets up with Steve Buscemi's character, Tony. Basically, they ran together in the back. Basically, Tony didn't get caught. Tony did. The other Tony did, and spent 15 years inside jail. So Tony got lucky. And basically, Tony is like living clean. Like, the new Tony wants to live clean and be happy, like outside the crime. But he kind of holds resentment towards Tony Soprano because, like, overall, he spent the time he didn't. But they do the whole party. They introduce. They have a whole thing. I don't know about you, one of the most awkward speeches I've ever seen in my life is like, oh, we're two Tonys, and then he died, and then he died. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Tony, like, public speaking is not for everybody, but basically, and Tony is like trying to talk to him about like getting in like involved. Um, uh, Fetch basically also is like buddying up with the old Tony, like the new Tony, and like talking about how it's weird that he's like Tony Soprano is like running the family like this. They were both on the inside 20 years, 15 years. So it's weird to see him in this thing. Tony meets with it's weird to call Tony Tony. So I'm just gonna call Tony the other Tony Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi it basically says he wants to become a masseuse. He wants to go through training, he wants to get it all done, like he wants that. But he's at the bada bing and like makes a comment when Tony walks back out after he's talking to Johnny Sacks while he's taking a shit in the bathroom, which is one of the weird scenes. But talks about like the progression of Carmine, and he's like, "You sure are fat." He's like, "What?" He's like, he like does this weird like character, and you just feel like inside the world of the Soprano. Bitch, this doesn't play. Like your open mic night's about to be cut off pretty quickly. But he talks about wanting to be a masseuse. He's like, all right. They have a cinephile movie club night with the women, and they're going to watch Citizen Kane. And let me tell you, if I can see a bunch of women that are not going to enjoy Citizen Kane, that group. Adriana's there, like, just like, no, not at all, like, situation. But Adriana's like melting down every time because after the book club, they're sitting there talking about like all the women that were there and the situation. And the more and more Adriana's just getting frustrated. She's like, "You don't care about anything about personal. All you care about is fucking Christopher and all the like things." So like the FBI agent like tells a story like to make it feel more credible and then gets right back into it. So doesn't do much. Adriana's like split. Fucking Steve Buscemi starts giving massages to all the people in the thing, and Tony shows up, and Tony like pulls him outside, and it's like, "You don't make fun of me. Like, there's no more jokes. You don't bust balls. And this masseuse, this is a fucking place of business. Don't do it. I don't want it here. Blah blah blah." So it doesn't go very well with that. Adriana's friend and them are at the club at her place and making more advances, like blatantly in front of her. I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like. So awkward, and like that's going to be your maid of honor. Tony feels like there's he feels like he's being like listened to by like FBI, like followed and stuff. Like he doesn't feel comfortable, so he believes it's the blackjack guy. So he goes and meets with him again, and basically gets out and starts patting him down. He's like, you got your thing." Like he doesn't feel comfortable because he still feels it, but he didn't check the hat, so he doesn't really know. But they don't feel comfortable. They go back and meet for another movie night club, the girls, and next one is Godfather, which is but Adriana wants to like tell them something. Like he's like, well, first we go to Tony, and Tony like puts up the Rat Pack picture and stares at it. He knows something's up. But Adriana wants to like tell them something. He's like, "I want to tell you guys something. I want to." Like she's basically gonna come clean. She ends up melting down, running, crying, stumbling out of a thing, and ends up falling down, but gets in the car and leaves, hammered drunk. And then drunk Tony basically calls Steve Buscemi and be like, "Hey, you can bust balls, but like not around me, like not around the guys, but like me, like draw the line." He's hammered. He doesn't want to be mad at them, but he's like wants to apologize for the situation. And then what? There's a body in a trunk.
The blackjack guy.
The blackjack guy. They basically take him out, and then he ends up in the trunk of a car. And the other guy that was at the thing at the meeting with everybody when he's like, "Hey, you need to hammer it down. Like, we need guns on the street. We need money. We need all this profit. Like, get your shit together." And he's like, "Well, who's going to give me my new shirt? Like, I lost this and blah, blah, blah." So there's another guy that's on the inside basically ratting against Tony, but they just lost an informant basically. And Adriana leaves and gives a phony name to the guy about embezzling $100,000 or whatever, trying to get the sniff off them to something else, but it's not going to work. So, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of stuff going on in this episode. It's a good introduction for the Steve Buscemi character, and just kind of show him busted balls and getting in trouble. Kind of, he's got a little bit of a resentment towards Tony, I think, and that comes out a little bit. Adriana and her maid of honor, or whatever, just hitting on Christopher is just wild. I thought that was crazy. Nice moment to see Tony watching Band of Brothers, so he can check out our miniseries. But yeah, I think there's a good setting some stuff up for this season.
I got a question, at least for Cody. Going for how do you believe that this cinema movie club will continue after them? After I guess their second go, do you think where they're gonna how much further do you think they're gonna get in that AFI list?
Less episodes than Gone with the Wind, but not many more.
Okay, just wondering about that because I the first time I saw it,
because 2001: A Space Odyssey is gonna blow their fucking minds, and they're gonna be done.
I mean, they should just say what it is. Let's get together and drink.
Fucking watch Groundhog's Day or something. Just have some fun. We'll watch it when Harry Met Sally. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but let me tell you, Citizen
But we're
Kane,
trying to better ourselves.
you're gonna sit there and watch The Godfather and be like, man, this feels fucking eerily similar.
But
I think that's the Passion of the Christ of the mafia world. That's in the Christian religion. They're gonna be oh, our Lord and Savior, fucking Marlon Brando.
No, this is great. I mean, listen, we're getting into the final bosses of Frank Vincent mobster characters. At least for me, is it Frankie from Casino, or is it Phil Leotardo from Sopranos? I'm really glad we're getting into the Frank Vincent era of this show. He really is he's a great ad. We'll get into that further we go. Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you though, a lot of neat stuff. This episode you mentioned, kind of going into the rats. Tony's talking to a guy that's informing on them. It's also another. I can't remember if it's the same guy or another, but they're dealing with all that. The Adriana stuff is very interesting. But honestly, all of this paled in comparison to Steve Buscemi's old suit. Is old 80s, 90s suit.
You get them power shoulders.
Yeah, they couldn't give him any money just so that he wouldn't have to go to his coming home party in a less dated suit. I feel like it's still covered with 80s cocaine. What do we do? It looks like he just he looks like an extra from Miami Vice. It's just maybe one of the greatest clothing things I've ever seen in any show ever.
This suit will never go out of style.
Where's Johnny? Episode 3. Basically starts Tony sitting at the bar at the bottom. Bing Jr. Steve Buscemi's character comes in, drops off the towels or the linens. He's basically working laundry. Tony's like, I feel bad for you. What, for working a real job? Yeah, basically. So he ends up getting in the car with Fetch. Fetch and him are driving. He's like, hey, eat with me. You'll have a meal like this all the time. And he's like, all right. He gets there. He sees this lawn care guy outside. He's like, what are you doing? My buddy, my son, my nephew or whatever runs this lawn. He's like, go fuck off, and beats the fuck out of him. Why don't I fuck off all over your face? Pinches him, punches him, grabs him by the dick, drags him to the edge of the curb, and then snaps his arm, basically. Just one of the most brutal snaps. Probably not the most. If you watch American History X, I'll say that one's worse.
I was waiting. This is okay, it's just the wrist.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, he's going to make him bite the curb. Junior Junior sees Larry David on the screen. He goes, "What am I doing there? It's not you." Yeah, it is. Looks just like him, but he's like, "My court case, like having a freaking thing." Bakla comes and sees Tony. He's like, "I want to start earning again. I have Janice at home. Oh, she's a lovely lady, isn't she? Yeah, she's great, but she sleeps a lot. But I need to make some money. I'm tired of running like all the pills and stuff for him. Like, I need to do something more." Uh, Walnut sits down with his ma and stuff, and they talk about the overall uh, lawn care stuff that happened. Like, he's like, "He doesn't cut my lawn anymore because of this." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Lorraine, we saw Lorraine show up at the funeral, I believe, of Carmine, but she's coming to a bar to collect money from for Carmine Jr. I believe that's his arrangement. And then he's like, "Here's most of it." He's like, question for you, just real quick. If I was somebody else, well, I'll save from being canceled, but says some questionable lines. If I was standing here, would you say that I was short, or would you just get the money? All of a sudden shows up is Frank Vincent, which is Phil Latardo,
Leotardo.
Latero,
Leo,
or whatever. Okay.
Leotardo.
Basically, he shows up, knocks the shit out of her, smacks her in the face, tells the guy to calm down. He's like, "I told you twice. Now you owe me fucking money. You keep paying it. You owe Johnny Sacks money, but you keep paying it to Carmine Jr. How many more clear do I need to make this to you?" She like says, "I'll suck all your dicks," and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then looks over at the guy on the floor and goes, "How is she?" It's like, "Oh, what am I saying? You probably taught her." What a fucking line. Pulls up a phone book. The guys behind the bar is like, "Calm down, calm down." And he's like, "No, no." Puts the gun to her chest. It'll muffle the shot. Shoots it and gets to the R's. He goes, "Oh, stop to the R's." Next time it won't stop. Like, basically one of the most brutal, like, fucking shots, and ends up leaving. Very next scene, they're all meeting around the table. Lorraine, Junior, Tony, they're all sitting there talking about the situation of the Carmine. Tony's basically like, it's pretty clear there was not a set, like, successor. So it's rough. And he's like, "Why don't we set up a power share between everybody?" And it works. And then there's like, it works here for the Sopranos. And it's like, yeah, shut up. He's like, "Yeah, never made varsity." So he makes his first jab at Tony about varsity team or whatever. Doesn't sit well with Tony, but Tony lets it go. But he's like, "Let's try to get a power struggle, like, figure it out. Like, we need that stuff." Walnuts meets with the guy that had his broken arm, and basically talks to him like he'll be able to get it all figured out for him. Like, he's going to go to, like, basically like, "Hey, I'm going to take some money from this guy's situation. I'm going to get him back on the situation because his mom wants him back and everything." So it feels bad. He got fucking beat the fuck up, like, bad. Tony goes down to the pastry shop to meet with Fetch. Fetch is like, he's like, "Hey, listen," but he's like, "You got to figure it out." Like, he cuts that grass. Like, that's where it's situation is like, "Well, since you have no power," and he's like, "Well, I got a call for a booking and stuff. But I passed it," because he's like, "Yeah, he's my fucking client." He's like, "You've been on the outside for 20 years. You don't get fucking nothing from me." And he's like, "Oh, well, let me tell you something, fuckface." Like, he's like, basically goes at him. He's like, "If I have anything to say, why don't you get the fuck out of my place?" Like, it does not end well. There's not a settlement between the whole situation. It basically yells right at them. And it basically tells it he doesn't believe in his book. He doesn't care. He's not going to follow the rules. He's going to go by his own rules. So that's the situation. Tony and Janice basically talking like home life and how's everything going with Junior and stuff like that. Basically, she wants her to be more active in the situation with Junior because Junior seems to be slipping. Tony meets with Artie and basically says, "It's weird that we're having this situation and fighting and blah blah. My house is empty. Like, you can come stay with me. Like, you don't have to go live anywhere else. Like, just think about it." So, and then he's like, by the way, whoever does your towels and stuff, I think I can get you cheaper, save you like 70%. He's like, okay. Junior and them all have a family dinner. They're all sitting there, and he brings up the varsity thing against Tony. And Tony's like, "Don't ever bring it up again. Like, I'm telling you, this is the final straw." Two other people show up. I don't really remember who those characters are, but they show up and they sit there, and he says it again, and Tony's like, "That's it. I'm fucking leaving. Like, fuck off." But Junior really doesn't know what he did. They end up showing outside. Walnuts is back to his mom's house, basically shows up, and the guy shows up basically arm fucking extended out, like broken. He had to fire his Spanish help because he couldn't afford it, so he has to basically do this. Tony meets with Johnny Sacks, basically tells him about the agreement. Like, I think there should be a power share. A power share? Are you fucking kidding me? Gets mad. It's like, fine, then don't fucking do it. I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I would do. It works for some of the families. If it can't work for you, then I don't know what to tell you. Junior's gone. Junior is out of the house. Bakla loses the older guy that shares the house, watching TV with him. Doesn't realize he's going. Bakla realizes. Junior goes to a black church. Basically gets lost, thinks it's somewhere else. They don't know, so they're all searching all over for him. Fucking bitch Janice. Son's making chocolate milk, and the motherfucker doesn't say a word to him, just walks over and dumps it down the sink. Like, can you be any more of a cunt? Like, fuck off, Janice. I hate that bitch. Basically drops the milk. Walnut shows up to the guys cutting the grass, which is Fetch's thing. He's like, hey, you need to make the Sprite to the thing. You need to give it back. He's like, fuck off. Like, who do I need to answer to? All right, fine. Grabs the shovel, beats the one guy in the head, knocks the other guy out of the tree. He falls, and he's like, hey, and you owe me $1,200 for the guy's medical bills, basically. You owe that. And he's like, fuck off. He's like, I would say it again, I'll whack you. Right now, that's for the $1,200 and the mower. So he loads up the mower and, like, takes off. Tony is about to leave for a meeting, and they find out Junior's gone. Tony meets with Johnny Sacks, basically to kind of broker a deal between them. It does not go like swimmingly, and it's going to boil over between Carmine and stuff. There's going to be bloodshed between them. They can't live. They're working pretty hard. Adriana's still missing with the FBI. Junior finds himself on a park bench in, like, the middle of, like, this homeless park. The lady goes, yeah, I know your brother. We used to date, blah, blah. Like, I got to get a car. You want to go hang out? Let's do this stuff. Basically, he's loopy. He's like, I don't know where my car is. I got to go find it. So he ends up starting walking. He ends up falling. Police pull him over. He goes, oh, shit in your hat. Like, fuck off. I don't have to give you fucking anything. He's like, oh, no, just tell me. He's like, no, fuck you. It's like, let's just get you in the car. We'll take you back to the thing. They end up taking him, getting the thing. He's like, oh, you really are being your Sopranos. He's like, yeah, shit in your hat. Lost. Janice and Tony, like, get into a fucking almost fist fight, fucking raw. Like, oh, you fucking groupies, you fucking splinging. Like, fuck you. You take fucking pills and get all fucking high and fuck a bunch of groupies. Tell him that's not true. And Baco's like, groupies? Like, all this shit. Like, he's shocked by this shit. Bitch, do you know who Janice is? Like, they end up getting into fisticuffs. It's pretty an awkward situation. Fetch and Walnut get sit down by Tony. Basically says, hey, this shit's going to stop. You owe them $500 for the bills. They're going to split this territory. That's where it is. And I'm going to get a cut of all of it. So fuck off. Like, that's how that works. He's like, well, I already promised him $1,200, Tony. He's like, fine, $1,000. We'll make it right. And of course, Walnut goes to the guy and gives him $500 cash. Gives that other $500. Stays with Walnuts. Walnuts is not giving full price for anything. He's like, hey, just be thankful that that's happening. Tony meets with the doctor that worked with his mom, now working with Junior. Basically tells him, like, oh, does he repeat himself a lot? Does he ask the question? Does he not know where he's at? Like, by the way, these are the things of a mini stroke. Like, these are situations. And probably one of the most, like, heartfelt moments of The Sopranos, where they're sitting on the couch and you're like, hey, like, I hear that this is like from you, blah blah. Like I feel bad. Like let's figure this out. And then ask him the question, like, do you even love me? And like Junior like has like a visceral reaction, but he doesn't say anything. And they just sit there, and then he talks about the coyotes or whatever on the screen and like moves off the subject. But that's how the episode ends. So thoughts on where's Johnny?
Yeah, they had to cram a whole lot into this one.
Yeah.
And introducing more new characters and stuff. Junior just going on his Junior's Day Out adventure all through the city and stuff. Janice just being the worst at every turn. But yeah, it's definitely got a lot of stuff that they're setting up for this season, all the new characters and stuff. But yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah, what an episode. Got the whole mock execution thing, like really selling us on Phil Leotardo. Great. Had this weird feud with Fetch and Paulie like throughout it, and like he was just knocking that dude on the tree, right? He bashing that guy in the head with a shovel, falls off the tree,
Oh yeah.
like it tries to collect for then going to him is like, all right, good news, they got half your root bag. He's like, half? He's like, what? It could have been nothing. Like that is like that's great. I mean, and also like which I understand, like, there's a lot of you know tension between him and Johnny Sacks, although he came up with honestly a pretty good idea in the sense that like, hey, just let Carmine be or at least the head or at least appear as the head. That way, like, when the FBI comes around, he goes to jail and you're still here, which he tried to basically say, hey, do the same thing I did with my uncle. And like, what do you know? His uncle like had to worry about like a trial, like he didn't. And then like, of course, Johnny Sacks like, no, fuck that. I don't want to like do a power share. It's stupid. Like whatever. And then yeah, and then we see like fucking Tony choking out his sister. I mean, like, listen, if it were anybody else, we feel bad for Janice. But it's Janice, so like, who cares? Like, nobody cares that Janice like almost got choked out by her brother. Like, we're all like, yeah, whatever, she deserved it. And then of course we get the Junior stuff, like where they like tried to convince the trial last year is like, no, this fall gave him dementia, and then he actually gets dementia. like okay, like that sucks.
All right. Bad guy of the week, and then we can go home and Matt can go to bed. He's dying. I can see it like going like slowly dying. So Matt, who is your bad guy of the week?
I mean, over the course of these 3 episodes of my notes, I have Janice is the worst written down 4 times. So I'm probably gonna give it to her this week.
I'm also with Janice. I said the lieutenant, but like he just is a piece of shit. I don't like him, but overall, like I'm not gonna say like.
I mean, ultimately, he's trying to get corrupt cops off the street.
Shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. No, he's not. He should have showed up episode 1. Where the fuck he was at. Fuck off. No. And most of the shit knew he was corrupt, and Aceveda just pressed on and actually made him be bad. Like, he's I need you to do this.
I mean, I'm not going to say Aceveda's a good guy.
Listen, I don't want this bullshit. I won't do this. Janice is fine. Dumping out the kid's chocolate milk. The kid's mom died still, and you're just taking over, and you give no explanation why the kid can't have chocolate milk. You're just being a bitch. You're just being a bitch. It's a glass. He didn't just... Now, if the kid took the entire chocolate syrup and dumped it in the carton and shook it and said, I'm drinking the whole fucking thing, then maybe you can have the conversation. But a glass, that's just disrespectful. You're fat shaming when you're also fat. Like, that's just rude, and I don't appreciate it. And also Bakla looks at him at one point and goes, hey, lay off the Snapple. Listen here, fucker. You need to lay off the ziti. Like, what are you talking about? You can't see your feet either. What are we talking about here?
You're the one that gave him those genetics.
Yeah, what the fuck? You're fat shaming your son when you're fat? Like, you're just dumb. My kid's going to eat salad. Why eat 6 pounds of ziti? Get the fuck out of here. That whole Bakla family is a fucking joke.
it makes a good point. So I did consider Kavanaugh for a little. I mean, the whole pretending to have an autistic son to get in with Corinne.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's crazy. Like, all right,
That's pedophile behavior.
like, yeah, I think he'll make a case soon enough. I considered Pete a little bit because of all the bickering and stuff, but I think I am going because of what happened with the waiter and what also happened with the landscaper. I'm going to give the edge to Paulie this week. So
Okay.
all the bad guys are from the Sopranos.
You're giving it to Paulie over Fetch?
I mean, he did kill a waiter.
because the combination of the waiter thing and the landscaper thing.
Christopher hits the guy.
Yeah.
Paulie just silences the guy.
With bullets.
I mean,
well, he had to kill him. He's already dying. If he can talk, then they're out. But then Fetch he's only doing it as a response. Fetch grabs the dude by the dick and just breaks his arm without any clarification. And then tells Walnut to go fuck himself. I don't know. Speaking of Walnut, that's fucked up. You're wrong on that one. What the fuck you say to me, Chrissy?
I mean, I don't know if I can do Kobach out of the week. I don't think so. I just made a decision again.
The lawnscaping crimes. Bad guys.
I mean, he knocked a guy out of a tree. Like, he's probably not walking for like a month.
He gave him a chance. He said, "Hey, you owe this guy," and he's like, "Hey, go fuck yourself." Okay, then.
Then he shorted the landscaper guy out of $500. Like, what is that?
That's fair. But technically, Paulie didn't knock the one guy out of the tree. He knocked the guy on the ground that was holding the rope to have
the technicality.
And then
that guy should have held onto the rope.
I love that Paulie sits there with Tony. Goes, he turned a chainsaw on me. What? I didn't.
Oh god.
Okay, that's the episode. We will be back next week for the middle. It's 4 episodes of The Sopranos, 3 of The Shield. They only have 3 of The Shield for the rest of the time. There will not be 4 for them. Lazy ass. And then 3 of Mad Men. And we will not. Well, never mind. I was going to say we don't do Last of Us. Well, that was like 4 weeks. That was like 3 months ago. So, we will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Let's take it a little slower. Wake up, Frank.
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.